live in New Richland for Section 2, Class AA softball section play here in the semifinals, winners bracket semifinals, as we have the homestanding NRHEG Panthers taking on Cannon Falls. The Bombers are here. Both teams with winning records. NRHEG this year 18-3 overall, while Cannon Falls is 11-4. So should be a good affair here today. We'd like to thank our sponsors. We've got Budget Tax Solutions out of Ellendale, sponsoring one half of the scoreboard, the other half by the Willows Restaurant here in New Richland, as well as L&D Ag and Heartland along with us today. We appreciate that. Wagner Foods is going to be sponsoring the strikeouts here. Wagner Foods in New Richland. And then also Brant Hemingway Photography with the Extra Base Hits sponsorship here today. Brant Hemingway from Ellendale. And we appreciate one and all being along for our what should be quite a game here today. Nice hot afternoon going on, no matter where you are. So kick back. And by the way, we'll be on Power 96, 96.1 FM, and streaming video and audio online worldwide at kqprfm.com. That's our website, kqprfm.com. Also on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com and search for Power 96 Baseball. Power 96 Baseball. If you search softball, it gets to be softball today, so Power 96 Softball, and that'll get you the video and audio there. And also on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Power96MN. So those are the places, and you can call your friends from far and wide and tell them, as long as they got an internet hookup, they can watch and listen live to the game here today. What else? Oh, I got to get the starting lineups going here. We're looking at the coaches now meeting at home plate with the umpires. It's not always good when the umpires know your name and you're a broadcaster. These guys knew me from before. I guess I was smart enough about some of their calls, and one of their wives heard me and told them that. So he came right up to me and started barking right away. So it could be fun as we're sitting right behind home plate here, just to the right of home on the first base side. But I don't know if he can hear me or not. He shouldn't be paying attention to what I'm saying anyway. As Sophie Stork, the junior for NRHEG, will get the start in the circle here for the Panthers, and she'll be facing third baseman Izzy Pagel, sophomore from Cannon Falls, leading off. Bella Davison is a senior playing shortstop. Kaylee Frenette will play center field and bat third. She's a junior. Abby Brewer is the pitcher for Cannon Falls, batting fourth, and she's a junior. Maddie Burr, a freshman, will play first base and bat fifth. Rachel Miller, sophomore, will catch and play bat sixth. Aaron Kramers is batting seventh and playing left field. And we'll get the rest of the lineups going here in just a moment on Power 96 Sports.
Being a teenager is tough.
There's the constant pressure to be liked.
Endless worrying about college.
Cyberbullying, high expectations, all the negativity.
There's no question. Being a teenager is tough. And what do Minnesota's teens do when they want to block out the noise and clear their heads?
We play!
Yeah! Research shows that teenagers who participate in high school sports have lower stress levels, more confidence, and greater self-esteem. And then there's the biggest benefit of all.
High school sports are fun.
Not just fun.
They're a lot of fun.
Encourage your teenagers to participate in a sport or activity when they go to high school. They'll stress less and smile more. And they'll be laying the foundation for a happier, healthier future.
This message presented by the Minnesota State High School League and the Minnesota Interscholastic Activities Administrators Association.
How do you define strength? Is it physical? Or is it mental? Maybe it's both. Maybe it's whatever empowers a person to dig deeper, fight harder, and overcome obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. Discover how much stronger and more confident your children can be. Encourage them to participate in a sport when they go to high school.
This message presented by the Minnesota State High School League and the Minnesota Interscholastic Activities Administrators Association.
All right, I think we're up to Rachel Miller batting sixth, sophomore catcher. Aaron Kramers is Cannon Falls left fielder and batting seventh. She's a junior. Brooke Robinson is a senior playing second base, batting eighth. And Kyra Schoenfelder is playing right field for the Bombers, and she's a sophomore batting ninth. And as far as NRHEG, they'll be facing Abby Brewer, the junior for Cannon Falls. And the Panthers bat Sydney Schultz, a sophomore shortstop, first. Haley Schultz, a freshman second baseman, will bat second. Sophie Stork pitching and batting third for the Panthers. Chloe Arndt is a senior catcher. She will bat cleanup. Grace Tufty, a senior first base girl, playing fifth. Kylie Doyle, the DP, designated player, she's a junior and bat sixth. Faith Nielsen, a freshman third base girl, batting seventh. Brentley Knutson is a junior playing center field and batting eighth. And ninth in the order for the Panthers and Wendy Schultz is Bree Erke, sophomore, playing right field. And Anna Jacobson will play left field, and she's a senior and is not batting here to start the game. But doing some introductions as we get going here. Cannon Falls coming in. They have lost, or they've won 2 of their last 5. In fact, they had 2 of their last 3 canceled games. They had a doubleheader somewhere. I can't remember what it was, but that got canceled. But the games they've played of the last 5, they've only won 2. But they were 6-3 in the Hiawatha Valley Conference. That was good for only 5th place, behind Byron, Zumbrota Mazeppa, Goodhue, and Casson Manorville. But they're 11-4 overall, so they went 5-1 out of conference, and that helped them in the section. And they started out with a win over St. Clair Mankato Loyola in their first round game. 10-0 was the score of that one. So Tom Langfeld has his team on the right track here as they get into the winners bracket semifinals here today. The winner gets to take on the winner of the number 1 seed, LeSueur Henderson Fairmont game that's going on right now as well. And the loser goes into the losers bracket. So not done, double elimination tournament. And in Belle Plaine and Medford and in another, wait a minute, that was the old one. I gotta get to our right round here. All of a sudden I went to baseball. What the heck? I had it in. I had the softball one lined up here, so I'm going to have to refine that. But the bottom line is LeSueur Henderson and Fairmont are playing in the other half of this bracket, and that winners of that game and the winner of this game will face each other Saturday at 2 in North Mankato at Caswell Park. I know that for sure. The loser goes into the losers bracket and still has a shot, but once you lose twice in the section, you're done. And Wendy Schultz, her Panthers have won 6 in a row now, and 8 of their last 9. They finished 12-2 in the conference, the Gopher Conference, second to Waterville Elysian Morristown. Lost to their 3 losses were to Maple River, Waterville Elysian Morristown, and Kenyon Wanamingo, and they beat Blue Earth area in their first round section game 11-0 to get here. So Sophie Stork ready to go, and she winds and fires. The first pitch is ball 1 to Izzy Pagel, and we're underway here in New Richland. Ball and no strikes. Sophie winds and fires, the junior pitcher, and a strike is called as she is flame-throwing today, as usual. And to her catcher, Chloe Arndt, and that's going to be ball 2. 2-1. To the leadoff batter, Izzy Pagel, the sophomore, playing third base for the Bombers. And she hits one on the ground right past second base out into right center. And it gets by the center fielder momentarily, so she's going to get in with a double, stand-up double for Izzy Pagel to lead off the game here for the Cannon Falls Bombers. And Bella Davison, the senior shortstop, comes up. We're sitting right next to the Cannon Falls bench, as you can hear their dugout. So you'll be hearing them scream when they do well. Yeah, that was just past the glove of Haley Schultz and into center, right center. Bunt attempt and missed, so a strike. And it's going to be 0-1 to Bella Davison with a runner on second and nobody out. And then Brentley Knutson made a play out there for the center fielder, and it kind of hopped over her glove, and she had to chase it down a little bit. So that allowed Izzy Pagel to get to second. That one's high, and it's going to be 1-1 to Davison. 1 ball, 1 strike. What is it? 150 degrees. It's really hot here. We're right in the sunshine. I'm not going to complain, though, because it's better than 6 months ago or whatever it was. Swing and a miss there to make it 1 ball, 2 strikes to Davison. Sophie working quickly as she does. Gets a sign and fires, and that one's just a tad high. It's going to be 2-2 to Bella Davison. Kaylee Fournette will be on deck here for the Bombers. Right-handed batting, Bella Davison. Also, Izzy Pagel was a righty. There's a swing and a miss, and the first strikeout for Sophie Stork, and that's a Wagner Foods strikeout, brought to you by Wagner Foods in New Richland. Shop local, keep your money local at Wagner Foods. Go to the website, newrichlandfoods.com, for all the latest information and deals from Wagner Foods. They're open 8 to 8 every day, except 9 to 5 on Sunday. And you'll find them at 120 Broadway Avenue South in New Richland. And give them a like on Facebook, too. Here's a pitch, hit past the third base girl, Faith Nelson, and into left field. And that's another solid base hit. And on to third goes Izzy Pagel. So it's runners at the corners as Kaylee Fournette hit the first pitch for a base hit. A double, a strikeout, and a single. And there's one down with runners at the corners for Abby Brewer. Pitcher against pitcher. Right-hander Brewer, a junior for the Bombers. And Sophie winds and fires, and she shows bunt, then pulls back, and that's ball one. And on to second goes Fournette. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the Bombers with 1 down. And Brewer with a 1-0 count. Or I guess they called that a strike. 0-1. And that's a strike called on that outside corner. Nice positioning there by Stork to get a 0-2 advantage on her pitching counterpart, Abby Brewer. Sophie okays the next pitch. 0-2 is on the way. It's outside and ball. 1-2. Maddie Burr will be on deck. The freshman. They only have 2 seniors on the whole Cannon Falls team. That's Bella Davison, their shortstop, and Brooke Robinson, their second base girl. Here's the pitch. That's way high. Kind of got away from Sophie. 2-2. We get some wind in the face today. Now the wind is blowing towards right field. So if you're a lefty and you can get it in the air to right center, that thing might carry a little bit. It's only, 190 down the line here. There's a strikeout. 2 for Sophie. And it's another Wagner Foods strikeout, brought to you by Wagner Foods of New Richland. Check them out at 120 Broadway Avenue South in New Richland. They're open every day, 8 to 8 every day, 9 to 5 on Sunday. Give them a like on Facebook. You can keep up to date on all their deals, but also go to newrichlandfoods.com. They've got some deals there you can find. As the first pitch is a ball to the 5th batter here in the first inning for Cannon Falls, and it's 1-0. Still runners at the corners, now 2 down. Sophie fires. Strike called. It's 1-1. 2 strikeouts already for Sophie Stork. 2 out and runners at, well, I guess there's just a runner at third. My mistake. Second and third is what it is. All right, she was out of my reach there, my vision. It's a ball and 2 strikes. As Sophie gets ahead here, needing 1 more out to shut them down here in the first, as they have that threat. Second and third, that's fouled out of play over the dugout, and in fact hits the NRHEG dugout to keep it at 1-2 to Maddie Burr. She's a freshman, first baseman. They got 2 seniors. They have also 3 juniors on the starting lineup due to the Bombers. Couple of sophomores, 3 sophomores, and a freshman for their starting 9. That one's fouled out of play over my head here on the right side. Stays 1-2. 2 down. Runners at second and third with the Bombers. No runs in yet. Top of the first. Started out with a big double. Strikeout. Single strikeout. Now that one's high for a 2-2 count. Good job there by NRHEG catcher Chloe Arndt. She's grabbing those that go high, get out of Sophie's hand a little awkwardly and go way high, higher than they probably were planned to be. This one is lined down the left field, and it's going to be foul. Just a couple inches foul down the third base line, just over the bag and then into the grass area, but a hit foul. Stays 2-2. Maddie Burr grabs the bat again, and a 2-2 count on her with 2 outs and 2 on here in the first. Winners bracket semifinal for Section 2, Class 2A, here in New Richland. NRHEG, Sophie Stork pitches. That's inside, but a ball. 3-2. Full count now to Burr. Pretty sure Sophie didn't care for that call, but the ump is right there on top of the action, so we'll give him the benefit of every doubt. 3-2 with a pitch, swing and a miss. She struck out the side while giving up a double and a single, but 3 down, no runs across, and with her 3 strikeouts, that's, by the way, a Wagner Foods strikeout, brought to you by Wagner Foods in New Richland. And you can go to the website, newrichlandfoods.com, for all kinds of deals and information on them. And they're at 120 Broadway Avenue South in New Richland. Give them a like on Facebook. So the Budget Tax Solutions scoreboard shows scoreless after a half inning of play. That's brought to you by Budget Tax Solutions in Ellendale, proudly supporting NRHEG sports and wishing them well in the section tournament. Budget Tax Solutions has been serving the people of the NRHEG school district and surrounding areas since 2005, specializing in payroll with direct deposit, business, and individual tax, as well as nonprofit accounting. Give them a call, Budget Tax Solutions, 507-460-3829. So at the bottom of the first, we're going to have Wendy Schultz send a couple of fellow Schultzes to the plate. Sydney Schultz, the sophomore shortstop, and Haley Schultz, the freshman second base girl, will be 1-2, followed by Sophie Stork, the junior pitcher. In her lineup, facing Abby Brewer, a junior pitcher for Cannon Falls. And defensively, they'll have Rachel Miller behind the plate. Izzy Pagel plays third. Bella Davison is at short. Abby Brewer pitching. Brooke Robinson at second. Maddie Burr is over at first. And left field, Aaron Kramers, Kaylee Frenette in center, and Kyra Schoenfelder playing out in right for the Bombers here this afternoon. A clean of home plate, a sweeping, and we are ready to go for the first at-bat for the Panthers here. Bottom of the first, scoreless from New Richland. And Abby Brewer facing left-handed hitting Sydney Schultz, the sophomore shortstop for the Panthers. She hits one into the fence, straight back behind home, and it's strike one. Sydney followed by Hallie Schultz, and then Sophie Stork. Right-handed pitcher, Abby Brewer, gets the sign, winds and fires, and Sydney showed strike, and then that was called ball one. She pulled back just in time to let that go outside for ball one. 1-1. Leadoff batter here for the Panthers in the bottom of the first. She bounces one over the pitcher, and it goes to second base, and they get her in time. Second to first, that's Brooke Robinson to Maddie Burr. And there's one up and one down on a 4-3 putout for the Bombers. And that means Haley Schultz for the Panthers, a right-handed hitting second base girl. She's a freshman. Stepping in here, deep in the batter's box, facing Abby Brewer, and she knocks one in the air. It looks like second base girl is calling, and making the catch is Brooke Robinson. 2 up and 2 down on a pop to second. And that brings up Sophie Stork, the pitcher, junior. Seems like she's older than that because I've been calling her games since she was probably in 8th grade. Starting on the varsity, basketball, volleyball, softball, you name it. Time is called. And we have the Bombers coach coming out. For some reason he's walking to the shortstop. Oh, she probably stepped on the bag on that pop-up. If it was to second base, over by the bag, and second base girl Robinson caught it, but Bella Davison, the shortstop, drifted over there, and I think she stepped awkwardly somewhere along the line because right now she's trying to run it off. She says, "I'm fine." She was limping, and that's good on her coach. It's Tom Langfeld for catching that and stopping play and going out and checking on her. Shortstop being a very important position. Well, they all are, but shortstop's kind of your quarterback out there of the infield. Well, she's all right. She's staying in. And we'll get back to play here. Nobody on, 2 out, bottom of the first, and scoreless here between NRHEG and Cannon Falls. Sophie with No count yet. Here's the first pitch. And it's a called strike in the upper strike zone. Strike one. Cannon Falls started out with a couple of hits, a double and a single, but Sophie struck out the side otherwise. Now she's trying to get her Panthers going here. Swing and a foul back to the fence. 0-2 quickly. Catcher Chloe Arndt will be up next if Sophie gets on. Junior Brewer with the advantage now at 0-2 on Sophie. See if she tries to nibble a little bit and get Sophie to chase. That was inside and she held off on that one, so ball one. Again, we are on Power 96, 96.1 FM, and on 3 different platforms online, video and audio. KQPRFM.com is our website. Inside again as Sophie jumps out of the way there, 2-2. On Facebook.com/Power96MN and YouTube.com/Power96Softball. You can find the video and audio of those places. There's a pitch that gets away from the catcher, and it's another ball, 3-2. So starting out 0-2, but then working the count to 3-2. Sophie, a good eye there at the plate. Now the payoff with 2 down and nobody on here in the bottom of the first. The 3-2 is on the way. Inside, ball 4. And Sophie Stork draws the walk. And now it'll bring up Chloe Arndt, senior catcher, with Stork on first and 2 down. Right-handed batting Arndt. There's some shade out in center field. They got some trees right outside the fence out there in center that kind of gives some shade deep into center, but the whole field is pretty much bathed in sunshine here. Strike one is called on Arndt. And the wind, like I said, was going left to right, but now flag hanging limp out there in center field. And wind and fire fouled back by Arndt for strike 2. Very reminiscent of the Stork at bat. And then Sophie drew 4 straight outside the zone to walk. As Abby Brewer is going to tie her shoe. She calls time. Be the right shoe if you're keeping track at home. 0-2 to Chloe. She spells it C-L-O-I-E. All right, she was tied. It's 0-2 to Chloe Arndt. Here's the pitch. And it's bounced slowly to third. Picked up there. Not going to. Oh, it is in time. Oh, that was a very close play. She's called out there as Izzy Pagel was able to get it to Maddie Burr in time for out number 3. And so they waste Sophie's walk. And it's scoreless tie after 1 on the Willows Restaurant scoreboard, brought to you by the Willows Restaurant and Lounge right off Highway 13 in New Richland. They got inside and outside seating with great food, including the world-famous Burger Night every Wednesday. Open 11 to 9 every day except Sunday and Tuesday till 8. And, well, actually, they're closed on Sundays, so they can't be open till 9. But give the Willows a like on Facebook, and do check them out for great food and good times over there. So thanks to them, and also Budget Tax Solutions in Ellendale, Wagner Foods in New Richland, Brant Hemingway Photography sponsoring the extra base hits. Brant telling me he does a lot of the senior pictures for the NRHEG kids, young adults, whatever you want to call them, the seniors. So you got to start thinking about that if you're a junior or you have a junior in the area. It doesn't have to be NRHEG; it could be anywhere in the area. Brant does a great job. In fact, he's got as little as $300 to do those senior pictures, including tax, plus you get the USB drive and the copyright to the pictures, and you don't always get that. But Brant is part of his deal there with over 30 years experience in senior pictures, weddings, team sports, photos, and more. And you can give him a call at 507-402-2212. Nice guy, Brant Hemingway. Sophie done with her warm-up tosses here as it's scoreless. Top of the second. And we have the 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up. Rachel Miller sophomore catcher. Bats right-handed, will lead off here in the second. Aaron Kramer's junior left fielder, followed by Brooke Robinson, the senior second base girl. First up, Rachel Miller. And Sophie with 3 strikeouts on the game. Starts her out with a strike on that outside corner. I got a feeling we're going to be hearing about Wagner Foods a lot today. They're sponsoring the strikeouts. Yes, Sophie. Yeah, if you know who's pitching, it does help to which package you choose when you're advertising these games. But 0-2 now as Sophie gets ahead of Rachel Miller. She's got it going on here with she did give up the double and the single, but 3 strikeouts in that first inning. And now 0-2 with a foul ball. Stays 0-2 on Miller. And we're ready to go in with the 0-2 pitch. Nobody out, nobody on here in the second. Nice snag there by Chloe Arndt, catcher. Pitch that was up a little bit. Makes it 1-2 to Miller. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sophie likes the pitch that Arndt calls, and she gets a swing and a miss for strikeout number 4. And the first out here in the second inning. And that's a Wagner Foods strikeout. And you can check them out on the website, newrichlandfoods.com. I was looking at that earlier. They got everything you need to know about them right there, plus all the specials and deals. There's a bunt attempt that goes foul for the next batter, Aaron Kramer, so strike 1. And also you can follow them on Facebook. Give them a like there so you get all the updates. But Wagner Foods, New Richland, right downtown at 120 Broadway Avenue South. 0-1. To Kremers, and that was high, but she swung at it. So it's 0-2 as Sophie enticed her to swing at that riser. Kremers, a junior left fielder. 1 out, nobody on here in the second, scoreless. Section, winners bracket section semifinal. That one's popped up in the infield. Second base gets the grab, and that is Hallie Schultz making out number 2 on a little pop to second. 2 up, 2 down, and Brooke Robinson is up, senior second base girl. Right-handed batter facing Sophie. And then she winds and fires and fouls one out of play behind the plate. 0-1. Is the count to Brooke Robinson. That was already 2 out here in the second with nobody on. That one's right back up the middle. Now there's somebody on as Brooke takes the second pitch and rips it right up the middle past Sophie and into center field for a base hit. 3rd hit given up by Sophie. A double and 2 singles so far through her inning and 2/3 in the circle. But now 9-hitter Kyra Schoenfelder comes up. And she gets one on a wicked hop to shortstop. Oh, they call her safe. No, the umpire was a little bit out of position. He was over by first more, and he calls her safe at second. From here, almost it was a close play. That was shortstop Sydney Schultz getting it to Hallie Schultz at second. And the slide by base runner Brooke Robinson. And on the fielder's choice, Schoenfelder at first. So first and second now with 2 outs. Umpires have a thankless job, so I'm not going to get on too much. I know Wendy Schultz is out there talking to him, and she's smiling and laughing. But it's those things that happen, and you never know. But she could have very well been safe. He's closer to the action than I am, so I'm not going to put up too much of a fuss. Oh, he called her out. Oh, he talked to the home plate ump, who maybe had a better angle at it, and Tom Langfeld, the coach of the Bombers, says, good call. Maybe he saw it from his angle, too. I thought she was out. So he did call Robinson out on the 6-4 fielder's choice. And the 3rd out there at second base. So there you go. It is inning and a half in the books. 0-0 with NRHEG coming to bat. And that's the Budget Tax Solutions scoreboard brought to you by Budget Tax Solutions in Ellendale. as they support NRHEG Sports. Budget Tax Solutions, they've been serving people in the NRHEG School District and surrounding areas for about 16 years now, since 2005, specializing in payroll and direct deposit, business and individual tax, as well as nonprofit accounting. Give them a call. Budget Tax Solutions, 507-460-3829.
This NRHEG Cannon Falls girls softball matchup is sponsored by NRHEG in Heartland, specializing in the sale, design, and installation of fertilizer and chemical application equipment for agricultural and commercial use to make your farming operation a success by always remembering service after the sale. Contact NRHEG in Heartland by calling 507-845-2100.
And we start at the bottom of the second for NRHEG with 5-6-7 hitters. Grace Tufty, left-handed first base girl, senior, will lead things off here. Scoreless, bottom of the second, in the winner's bracket of the Section 2 Class AA semifinals. And she shows bunt, and in come the third and first base girls, but she pulled the bat back, and it was still called a strike on Grace. So Abby Brewer starts her with strike one. Third and first base girls playing in, anticipating another bunt attempt, and she does bunt it, but it's foul. It's in the air, and catcher Rachel Miller grabs it. Easy play for out number one. A little pop to catcher on a bunt attempt. Kylie Doyle will be up now, the designated player. She's a junior. She bats right-handed. She's batting for left fielder Anna Jacobson here to start the ball game. And it's outside ball one from Brewer. As NRHEG still yet to get a hit. They have a walk. Sophie Stork walked in the first inning, but they haven't been able to get a hit yet. Strike one called, 1-1 now to Doyle, with Faith Nielsen to follow, freshman third base girl. As Abby Brewer gets the sign, and the 1-1 is high for a ball. 2-1. One out, nobody on here in the bottom of the second. Scoreless. The winner gets top-seeded LeSueur Henderson, who everybody thinks is going to state, but, you know, that's why they play the games. There's a swing and a miss by Doyle for strike two. 2-2. That game next, winners of this game and that game, it's LeSueur Henderson against Fairmont playing right now. They will meet in North Mankato at Caswell Park. Ball three is up there with a 3-2 count now on Doyle. 2 o'clock Saturday for the winners of the two games. Loser goes into the loser's bracket. It still has a shot. There's ball four, and it gets away from the catcher, so she's going to run down there just in case she could take second, but Doyle stops at first, even though she walked. First walk given up by Brewer, not second walk, she did walk Sophie. Into the batter's box steps Faith Nielsen, the freshman third base girl, with a runner on and one out here in the second. She swings at a high pitch, strike one. Oh, 0-1, one out, runner at first for NRHEG. Bottom of two, swing and a miss by Nielsen for strike two, and now Brewer can see if she can nibble at the corners and get Nielsen to swing at something out of the zone. She has yet to get a strikeout yet, does Brewer. There's one into right field for a base hit. And a close play at second, and because she had to hold up, did Doyle, because it was in the air enough that if it was caught, she would have been thrown out at first. And because she had to wait there, she was thrown out at second by the Cannon Falls right fielder, Kyra Schoenfelder, to second base girl, Brooke Robinson. So there is two down as Doyle's thrown out at second. Nielsen on at first, and Brenly Knudsen is up, the 8-hitter, on her way to second, safely in as the ball gets knocked around. It's thrown down there by catcher Miller to Bella Davison, but was loose and on the ground there as Nielsen slid in there safely with a stolen base. And Brindley Knutson now with a 1-0 count. Fouls one into the screen back here, and it's 1-1. Knutson, a junior center fielder. Well, I told you there's only 2 seniors on the Cannon Falls team. Let me count how many we have. 1, 2, 3 in the starting lineup, seniors for the Panthers. Anna Jacobson, their left fielder, as that one is a ball. 2-1 now to Knutson. And Grace Tufte, the first base girl, is a senior, as is Chloe Arndt, the catcher. There's one on the ground to second, scooped up there by Brooke Robinson over to Maddie Burr at first for the third out on a 4-3 play. So 4 up and 3 down again for the Panthers, as it was in the first inning. And it's still scoreless after 2 on the Willows scoreboard, the Willows Restaurant and Lounge in New Richland. They're right off the Highway 13. They have inside and outside seating, great food, including the world-famous Burger Night every Wednesday. And they're open 11 to 9 every day, except till 8 Tuesday, and they're closed on Sunday. Give the Willows a like on Facebook, and do check them out. With outside dining, what a time of the year you can get out there and enjoy this nice weather and a great meal. As we get ready for inning number 3 of a scoreless game. And I'm going to try and dial up that bracket again because I lost it temporarily with my phone here. As most people, like I said, think LeSueur Henderson is the class of the section. I think they've only lost 1 game, so they're probably right as far as so far games they've played. But, you know, that's why they have these tournaments, is to decide who is actually the best in the long run. And coming up here in the top of the third for Cannon Falls is the top of the order again, Izzy Pagel, followed by Bella Davison and Kaylee Frenette. And we have ball 1 to Izzy, as Sophie Stork has 4 strikeouts in the game through 2 innings. And there's a grounder to second, scooped up there by Hallie Schultz over to Grace Tufte in time to get leadoff batter Izzy Pagel. She doubled her first time up and got stranded at third, but this time a ground ball to second. 1 up and 1 down. Bella Davison is up. She struck out her first time up, the senior shortstop. Pitch is blasted right up the middle. Sophie tried to stab it, but it went whizzing right by her into center field for a base hit. And that's the 4th hit for the Bombers. Kaylee Frenette will be up now with a runner at first and 1 out. She had a single her first time up. Now I've got the bracket. Yeah, LeSueur Henderson and Fairmont playing right now in Henderson. And the winner of that game and the winner of this game meet Saturday at 2 at Caswell in North Mankato in the winner's bracket championship round. And they still have to play the loser's bracket champion, whoever wins that game. And the loser's bracket winner will have to beat the winner's bracket winner twice in order to go, while the winner's bracket winner will only have to win once in that final matchup. There's a lot of verbiage that goes into these double elimination tournaments. This one's popped foul third base side, been caught for the out there by third base girl Faith Nelson, and it is 3 up and 2 down now. A little pop fly to third. And Abby Brewer, the pitcher, is up. She struck out her first time up. As this one is lifted, and it's going to be shallow center, and running in and making the grab. Center fielder for the Panthers, Brindley Knutson, and there's the third out on a fly to center. So still scoreless after 2.5 on the Budget Tax Solutions scoreboard. Yeah, Budget Tax Solutions in Ellendale has, they specialize in payroll with direct deposit, business, and individual tax, as well as nonprofit accounting. You can call Budget Tax Solutions, 507-460-3829, and they say, go Panthers. wishing them well in the section tournament. Scoreless here after 2.5, and we'll be back with the bottom of the third here on Power 96 Sports.
This NRHEG Cannon Falls girls softball matchup is sponsored by NRHEG in Heartland, specializing in the sale, design, and installation of fertilizer and chemical application equipment for agricultural and commercial use to make your farming operation a success by always remembering service after the sale. Contact NRHEG in Heartland by calling 507-845-2100.
Figured something was off there. I was calling Faith Nielsen Nelson for a while there, so I apologize for that. It's Faith Nielsen playing third base for NRHEG. And she's batting 7th here this afternoon, but it's the top of the order. No, it's Bree Erke, the sophomore right fielder, will lead off here, the 9-hitter for NRHEG in the bottom of the third of a scoreless game. Beautiful weather. Every once in a while the wind kicks up, blowing from left to right field, but right now it's just barely moving the flag out there in center. As Abby Brewer starting her third inning of work, that one's fouled back. And a strike to Bree, sophomore, playing out in right. And then the top of the order, Sydney Schultz, Hallie Schultz due up. Here's the pitch as she shows bunt. First and third come crashing in, but it's back to the fence. And another foul tip. That's 0-2 to Bree Erke. The other side of the bracket has Belle Plaine and Tri-City United playing, and Maple River and Lake Crystal Welcome Memorial. So those winners will move on too. There's a grounder to third, scooped up there by Izzy Pagel. Gets it over to Maddie Brewer. And a 5-3 put out of Bree Erke for out number 1. Sydney Schultz, leadoff batter, batting second here in the third. She had a grounder to second to lead off the game for the Panthers. This one is a grounder to short, and that is going to be a close play, but the umpire says they got her, and it's Bella Davison to Maddie Burr. 2 up and 2 down. Hallie Schultz is up now. She popped out to second her first time up, the freshman second baseman, base girl. I do the best I can to say base girl. One way to do softball. It's not that tough of a deal to remember and try and do. Swinging a minute. No, it was a ball. Ball 1 to Hallie. As Abby Brewer still looking for her first strikeout from the circle, but has him shut out so far. And that's a pop to Miller, the catcher. But she kind of ran out of room. She was coming in on the dugout very quickly and got it to hit her glove, but couldn't quite make the catch on that one. So it's just a strike. And it's 1-1 to Hallie Schultz. With Sophie Stork due up next if Schultz reaches with the 2 out here. Bottom of 3, scoreless. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, 1-2. NRHEG in their home red jerseys with black trim and letters and numbers, and the black pants. That one is fouled, first base side. Drops to the ground for a strike, so still 1-2. The Bombers come here from Cannon Falls in all black with white trim and numbers and letters. It's 85 degrees, and they're all wearing black uniforms. Well, they're young. They'll get over it. Here's the 1-2. That's high for a ball, 2-2. Hallie Schultz up, nobody on, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. It's scoreless between NRHEG and Cannon Falls in the winners bracket of the Section 2 AA semifinals. Softball, that's fouled right side again and out of play. So we'll do it again at 2-2. Looking for a base runner. They haven't got a base hit yet. NRHEG with 2 walks and a stolen base, but no base hits. As Brewer fires, and that's going to be a ball, 3-2. Full count to Schultz. Brewer winds and fires. And it's fouled back and out of play behind home. And Hallie Schultz smiling like, how many times I got to swing at this ball? She has, 4 foul balls now and a couple of other strikes. Here's 3-2. And it's high for a walk. The third walk of the afternoon for Brewer. And Sophie Stork, who walked herself her last at bat in the first inning, is up now with 2 down and a runner at first. Be interesting to see if they send Schultz anytime this at bat, and she's off and running. First pitch, and they say she's out. Out at second, trying to steal. So Sophie Stork is going to lead off the 4th inning, but it's still scoreless here after 3 in New Richland on the Willow's Restaurant scoreboard. Willow's Restaurant and Lounge right off Highway 13 in New Richland with inside and outside seating. Great food. I always hear people raving about the food. I've been there several times myself. I don't know if you can have anything bad there at all. They have the world famous burger night on Wednesdays too. So I say world famous. For all we know, it's world famous. we all know about it. Open 11 to 9 every day. They are closed on Sunday, but give the Willows a like on Facebook, and you'll be glad you did. Get all the information and go there. And we got the first of 9 days in a row of 85 or more degrees. So do the outside dining over there. Thanks to L&D Ag of Heartland, too, for helping us today. Budget Tax Solutions, the Willows Restaurant. Brant Hemingway Photography, of course, with he's sponsoring Extra Base Hits and hasn't had a chance to get one of those. 3 walks for NRHEG, but when you want professionally done senior photos, see Brant. You'll get the great pictures for as little as $300, including tax. Plus, you get to keep the USB drive and the copyright to the pictures, which you don't always get. It's got 30 years experience with senior pictures, weddings, team photos, and more. Brant Hemingway in Ellendale. Call 507-402-2212. There we go. Top of the 4th already. And Sophie Stork firing from the circle gets strike 1 on leadoff batter Maddie Burr, the first base girl for Cannon Falls, who struck out her first time. Sophie's got 4 Ks on the day. That one's fouled and out of play. So strike 2, 0-2 already on Burr, the freshman first base girl. Rachel Miller to follow with Aaron Kremer's third. Freshman, sophomore, junior, all 3 underclassmen facing junior Sophie Stork this inning. Scoreless in the top of the 4th. Good pitching going on here today. That one bounces in front of the plate for a 1-2 count to Burr. Maddie Burr, she's tall. It is 1-2. And here's the pitch. That's barely she get a hold of that one, but it's fouled straight back into the fence. Still 1-2. I love they have the organ play here. That's nice. Hayfield adds a run in the 3rd. They're up 2-0 on Waterville Elysian Morristown in baseball action. Hayfield undefeated and number 1 in the state, so that figures, although Waterville Elysian Morristown's always a tough out, no matter what you're playing, seems like. It's 1-2. Yeah, we're hoping for a Hayfield Lyle Pacelli championship on Monday next week. That's grounded to 3rd on a 1-hop. Nice play, but the throw, it gets away at first as Faith Nielsen had a nice play at 3rd. The throw across got away from Tufty and on at first. I don't know, it almost looked like the throw was there. I hate to give an error to somebody who doesn't deserve it, but it really was. I'm going to call it, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but on the first base girl there. Because the throw looked pretty good, but Grace will get an E3 there, allowing Burr to reach. Ball 1 to the next batter, Rachel Miller. Lyle Pacelli now up 9-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. So it does look like they're on a crash course, the 1 and 2 seeds in Section 1, Class A baseball. A bunt down the third baseline, beautifully played over there by Nielsen. That time they get it to Tufte, and it's a clean out at first. But on to second moves Burr. So 1 out and 1 on second on that 5-3 put out. It's a bunt, sacrifice bunt basically by Miller. And Erin Kremers is up, the junior left fielder. She popped out to second base her first time up. I think she's going to lay down a bunt too. There's 1 out. She was already holding the bat like that when she walked up there. Nope, she's swinging away. He goes to third. Nielsen again throws to first. They get the out there. But on to third goes Burr. So now 2 down. All 3 batted balls this inning have gone to Nielsen at third. And the first one was an error on first base on the reception. But the next 2 were clean plays and outs at first. So there's 2 down, runner at third. And the 8-hitter, Brooke Robinson, up. Second base girl, senior. She singled her first time up. And that one is first pitch to her as a ball, 1-0. And this time she hits one to short. Grabbed there and over to first in time to prevent the run from scoring as Sydney Schultz got it to Grace Tufte at first in time for the third out on a 6-3 putout. So we're still scoreless through 3.5. The Wingers, Winona getting 4 runs on a hit by pitch, 2 walks and 2 hits, lead Austin 5-1 at the top of the third. Is that baseball?
Yeah,
baseball for Austin, as they're in the losers bracket. That would be in Albert Lee's section there. So 0-0 here after 3.5 on what we like to call the Budget Tax Solutions scoreboard. Budget Tax Solutions in Ellendale, proudly supporting NRHEG sports, and they've been serving the people of this area for a long time, since 2005, specializing in payroll with direct deposit, business and individual tax, as well as nonprofit accounting. Call Budget Tax Solutions, 507-460-3829 for information.
More and more these days, it feels like sports are losing out to hype. Who dissed who? Who signed the fattest contract? Who got busted for cheating? Lost 2 is the unique capacity sports have to inspire us, to unite us. Well, great news, sports fans. Sports are still being played for the right reasons. They're still as entertaining as they are character building. You just have to know where to find it. And you only have to look as far as your local Minnesota high school. You know, the place where the games are exciting, concessions are affordable, and the parking is free. Where the emphasis is on hustle and heart instead of hype. If you prefer real, honest-to-goodness sport played for all the right reasons, you'll find it at your hometown high school. High school sports. Games are being played this weekend at a Minnesota high school near you. Okay, everybody, who's in?
This message presented by the Minnesota State High School League and the Minnesota Interscholastic Activities Administrators Association.
Back here in New Richland with Sophie Stork leading off the bottom of the fourth, scoreless here with Cannon Falls. And everything on the line here in the winner's bracket semifinal of Section 2, Class 2A. And it is 1-1 now to Sophie. Her last time up, she walked. In fact, that's all NRHEG's been able to muster off of Abby Brewer here. 3 walks. No hits yet. Cannon Falls with 4 hits, but both teams no runs. That's a swing and a miss by Sophie, and it's 1-2 to Stork, the junior pitcher. When we get around to it, Anna Jacobson is batting now. Kylie Doyle was the designated player. There's a swing and a miss, and Sophie's out on strikes for the first out. First strikeout, too, for Abby Brewer of Cannon Falls. Chloe Arndt, the senior catcher, up now, grounded out to third, first time up. And Kylie Doyle, due up after a couple more batters, was the designated player, but she now is being replaced by Anna Jacobson, the left fielder, who's going to bat now. She was not batting. Doyle was batting for Jacobson, and now that'll switch around. Alberta girls losing in softball. They're out of their section after 2 losses. They lost 7-2 to Faribault here today. Also, I know you've been feeding me stuff. I forgot. USC is doing what?
What was that?
USC you had?
They're up, yeah.
In what sport?
In baseball, they're up 3-1.
In baseball, USC is up 3-1. Just giving you some area scores. As the count goes to 3-0 now to Chloe Arndt. With 1 out and nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th of a scoreless game. Every little base runner is important, and there's a 4-pitch walk to Arndt. The 4th walk of the day for Abby Brewer. Grace Tufty comes to the plate now after popping out to the catcher her first time up. 1 out, 1 on. Bunting, no, she pulls back, and that's way out of the strike zone for ball 1. Gets away from the catcher, too, and on to second goes Chloe Arndt. So a runner in scoring position with 1 out for the Panthers. Still with no hits here in the 4th. Oh, nice. I can use this crossbar on the fence in front of me to block out the sun for now. That's nice. The pitch is 2-0 now to Tufty. With Arndt on second. Anna Jacobson is on deck. And the pitch. She squares the bunt, lays one down right to the pitcher. They have to go to first for the out there on Tufty. And with 2 out, on to third goes Arndt. And that brings up Anna Jacobson. If she can get a base hit, we'll have our first run of the day. So a 1-3 put out on the sacrifice there. Sack bunt by Tufty. 2 down, and runner at third is Arndt with Anna Jacobson. And she takes strike 1. One, 0-1 rather, 0-1 from Abby Brewer to Anna Jacobson. And a ball got loose there and went on the field. Somebody was playing catch or something, so that's been retrieved, and here we go. She shows bunt, pulls back, ball 1. 1-1. Chloe Arndt is sitting on third and ready to give the Panthers the lead. It's been a very tight game here, and she bunts one down the first baseline. Can she beat it out? No. And so the run doesn't count, and it's another 1-3 put out for out number 3, and we are through 4 innings scoreless here in New Richland on the Willows Restaurant scoreboard. Willows Restaurant and Lounge right off Highway 13 in New Richland. Inside and outside seating, great food. You're never going to complain about that. Always a good time, too. And burger night on Wednesday night. Open 11 to 9 most days. They're closed Sundays, though, so give them a break. And give the Willows a like on Facebook so you can keep up to date on all the happenings that they have going on. So to the 5th, scoreless. And Cannon Falls will be batting the 9-1-2 hitters. Kyra Schoenfelder, Izzy Pagel, and Bella Davison facing Sophie Stork. Starting her 5th inning of work. She's got 4 strikeouts, has not given up a walk, and 4 hits. She's given up a double and 3 singles for this Cannon Falls Bombers squad. As the warm-ups are getting done. Well, I don't know. We could go all day. It looks like this pitcher's duel.
Leading off the top of the 5th for the Bombers, number 5, Kyra Schoenfelder.
We are on 96.1 FM, Power 96, as well as online at kqprfm.com with video and audio. Swing and a miss by Schoenfelder for strike 1 from Sophie Stork. So the website, and then there's facebook.com/Power96MN, and on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com, search for Power 96 Softball to find video and audio live streaming there. Foul back and out of play for strike 2. Good attendance here in New Richland. People sitting all around the outfield and the baselines. A strike 3, swing and a miss. The 5th strikeout for Sophie Stork, and that is a Wagner Food strikeout. Her first one since the 2nd inning, though, and we're here in the 5th. And that's ball 1 to the next batter. But Wagner Foods in New Richland. Shop local, keep your money local at Wagner Foods. They have all the information on their website, newrichlandfoods.com. They're also on Facebook, too, so give them a like there to keep up to date on things. But get all the latest in great groceries there. Open 8 to 8 every day, except 9 to 5 Sunday. Broadway Avenue South in New Richland. It's 2-0 to leadoff batter Izzy Pagel. She doubled to start the game, but got stranded at third, and then out second to first in the third, so 1 for 2. Lyle Pacelli in baseball action up 12-0 in the 3rd inning. There's a foul, goes right over my head and out of play, so 2-1 now to Pagel. Scoreless in the 5th. 2-2 is the count. With 1 out, nobody on for Cannon Falls. And that one's hit. It's a liner, not able to catch it at second base. Is Hallie Schultz. So on, that was a tough play, but she had to dive for it. She is filthy now with this infield all over her. But on at first on the infield single is Izzy Pagel. She's 2 for 3 now. And Bella Davison comes up, a strikeout victim in the 1st, and she had a single in the 3rd. 1 for 2. Bella, a senior, plays shortstop for these Bombers. Not really bombing today, though. Pitcher's duel here. That one's high for a ball. 1-0 to Bella. 1 out. 1 on here on first base. Izzy Pagel. Top of the 5th, a bunt. Played by first baseman Grace Tufte, who throws to Hallie Schultz covering, and they get her at first. But on to third, or rather on to second, goes Izzy Pagel on the play. So a sac bunt for Bella. And there's 2 outs. Runner in scoring position for Kaylee Frenette. Kaylee a single in the 1st and a pop out to third in the 3rd. 2 down, runner at second, top of 5, scoreless between Cannon Falls and NRHEG, lovingly known as NRHEG. And that one's a single up the middle. Will she score? She's going. Throws coming in and not going to be in time as Pagel scores from second on a base hit by Kaylee Frenette. RBI single, 1-0 in favor of Cannon Falls now. That's 6 hits off of Sophie Stork. And finally a run for Cannon Falls. Abby Brewer follows that up with a blast to center. That is out of here. A 2-run home run for Abby Brewer. She got a hold of that one, sent it to dead center. Well, it's 3-0 as Frenette scores in front of her. Wow, that was a blast. Went straight to center field and over the fence as Brandley Knutson ran out of real estate out there and just had to watch it fly. 3-0 here with 2 down. And the Panthers are going to have to bounce back now. Hayfield baseball adding 2 more to take a 4-0 lead on Waterville Elysian Morristown in the 4th inning. Lyle Pacelli winning big, so they're on a collision course. They each have to win 1 more game after this, but they could meet on Monday for a trip to state. Actually, I think that's for the winner's bracket championship. They wouldn't be playing for state because they'd still have to take on the loser's bracket champion. You know how that goes. There's always another game. It's a foul back for Maddie Burr and strike 1. With 2 outs and 3 runs in here for Cannon Falls in the 5th inning. And strike 2 is called to Burr. Maddie is the freshman First base girl, she struck out and then reached on an error. The 0-2 is bounced to third. Nice play there by Faith Nielsen. She gets it over to Grace Tufte at first in time for out number 3. But they come up with 3 runs, and 2 of those on a blast by Abby Brewer, the pitcher, who helps her own cause with a 2-run home run. And it is 3-0 now after 5.5 on the Willows Restaurant scoreboard, brought to you by the Willows Restaurant and Lounge off Highway 13 in New Richland. With seating inside and out, great food, and world-famous burger night every Wednesday, open 11 to 9. Give Willows a like on Facebook, too. Power 96 is 96.1, KQPR FM, Albert Lee, Minnesota. And Packer Baseball tweets out, big 2 out, 2 RBI single. And the Pack leaves 2, 5-3 Red Wing, bottom of the 3rd in that baseball game. Losers bracket of Section 1, Class 3A. I thought that was supposed to be the Budget Tax Solutions scoreboard. My apologies. Budget Tax Solutions wishing NRHEG sports well. Of course, the girls, hoping they do well here in this section tournament. Budget Tax Solutions has been serving the people of NRHEG School District and surrounding areas since '05, specializing in payroll with direct deposit, business and individual tax, as well as nonprofit accounting. Call Budget Tax Solutions at 507-460-3829. And I wanted to also mention Brant Hemingway. He's sponsoring Extra Base Hits for NRHEG. Hasn't gotten one just yet, but we'll give him some love, too. He's a great photographer and been doing it for 30 years. Senior pictures are a specialty for as little as $300, and you get the USB drive and the copyright of the pictures, too. You don't always get that. There's a hit bat person as NRHEG has a base runner right off the bat here, and that's Faith Nielsen, who's limping over there. She got hit in the leg, and so she will take her base, but you gotta try and walk off that one as Brandley Knutson comes up with nobody out and 1 on here in the bottom of the 5th. Yeah, Brant Hemingway, he gives you the great deal on the senior pictures, but he also does weddings and team sport photos and more. Call Brant in Ellendale at 507-402-2212. Still walking off the effects of that hit by HBP of Faith Nielsen. The freshman seems to be all right. She'll be back. She gets on the bag there at first. Ready to go with Brandley Knutson at bat. She bounced out to second her first time up. The right-handed junior center fielder. That one's way high. Gets away from the catcher, and that's going to be Faith Nielsen. Sore leg or not, has to leg it down to second. She looked pretty good. She didn't look like she was limping at all. She has some speed. She was ready to go to third, too. And now the shortstop talking to the field umpire. And he pats her on the head. Grandfatherly way. And it's a 1-0 count to Knutson. With a runner at second now. And that one's high for ball 2, 2-0. Baseball, Section 1A, Hayfield adding a couple more runs in the 4th, now up 6-0, and still hitting in the 4th against Waterville Elysian Morristown. So those two, Lyle Pacelli and Hayfield in baseball, looking pretty good. It's 3-0 now to Knutson. From Abby Brewer, that one is strike called, 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. As Brewer again has shoelace problems. Takes the time to tie them. She has thrown 1 strikeout and walked 4, but she gave herself a boost offensively as she had a 2-run homer. This one's bunted, and the play is at first for out number 1, and on to third goes Nielsen. On a sac bunt by Brindley Knutson. 1 out, runner at third, trailing 3-0 is NRHEG. Looking to scratch this run across with Bree Erke, the sophomore, the 9-hitter. She was out on a grounder to third her first time up. Something to the right side. She bunts 1 foul. So strike one. They could try and go home on a bunt, but you got to tag out the runner in that because it's not a force play. So it makes it tougher. So leading 3-1, they'd probably just take the out at first, which would be the second out of the inning. But there we go with a 0-2 count now to Erke. Top of the order, Sidney Schultz up next. 1 out. Runner at third, trailing 3-zip is NRHEG. Here's the pitch. Fouled back into the screen, 0-2. Bottom of 5. Cannon Falls with those 3 big runs in the top of the 5th to open the scoring here, including a 2-run towering home run over center field. It's 200 feet to center, and there's one that gets away from the catcher, so scoring the first run for NRHEG is Faith Nielsen. It's 3-1 with 1 out. Now nobody on. Thanks for the dust bath, Faith. She slid in and all the dust went right over here in my face. That's all right. It's one of the hazards of the job. I'll do it. 3-1 now. Cannon Falls. Still only 1 out. And a swing and a foul back for Bree. She's hanging in there at 0-2. Well, it's 1-2, I guess, because of the one that got away there. That scored the run. She's got to swing at anything close with 2 strikes. And that one is a swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Abby Brewer of Cannon Falls. And there's 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Nobody on. At top of the order, Sidney Schultz. She grounded out to second and grounded out to third, her 2 times up. And she grounds out to short here, and will she beat it out? She is safe at first. Good speed by Sidney Schultz on a grounder to short, an infield single. It's actually the first hit of the game for NRHEG. They've had 4 walks and a hit batter, but had never had an actual base hit until just then. A single by Sidney Schultz. Now Hallie Schultz comes up, freshman second base girl. And she walked and also popped out to second. On to second now goes Sidney Schultz safely in with a stolen base. On strike 1 to Hallie Schultz. Another runner in scoring position. Very important. Trailing 3-1 here in the 5th. Base hit could cut that lead down to 1. Strike is called, and it's quickly 0-2 now on Hallie Schultz, the freshman. Sidney Schultz on second. Hallie Schultz up with an 0-2 count. 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. At NRHEG trailing 3-1. That one's popped up infield, first base side, and it was Maddie Burr with a catch to end the inning and the threat, but they get a run back, and it's 3-1 now after 5 complete in favor of Cannon Falls. On the Willows Restaurant scoreboard, the Willows Restaurant and Lounge right off Highway 13 in New Richland. With great food, inside, outside, burger night on Wednesdays, and you can give them a like on Facebook, and that will keep you up to date on everything that they're up to. And also like to acknowledge L&D Ag in Heartland for being along here and making it possible for us to do this. Hayfield now leads Waterville Elysian Morristown 7-0 after 4 in 1A baseball, winners bracket semifinal. USC in Section 1A baseball gets 2 more and leads. What's WK? Do we know? They're leading 5-1 after 4 innings. All right, so we are into the 6th inning. 3-1 Cannon Falls as they come to bat here with the 6, 7, 8 hitters. Rachel Miller, Erin Kremers, and Brooke Robinson to face Sophie Stork. Sophie with 5 strikeouts. She had 3 of those in the first inning. Got another one in the second, and then didn't get another one of those until last inning. She started out the inning with a strikeout. And Rachel Miller, the sophomore catcher, is up. She struck out in the second and then grounded a sac bunt, actually, to third. Here next time up. Now up with nobody on, starting out the 6th for the Bombers, and it's a strike to her, 0-1. The 0-1 is a grounder foul, third base side. Makes the third base coach dance around. Losers bracket games from this game and all the other ones in this section are going to go to Caswell Saturday and play each other and try and work their way back through that bracket and get a shot at the eventual champion there. It's a slow grounder to third, and nice play there from Faith Nielsen to Grace Tufty for out number 1 here in the 6th. A 5-3 put out, 1 up, 1 down, and Aaron Kremers is up. Junior, left fielder, 0 for 2, pop out to second, and a grounder to third. Sophie still working quickly, and she gets that one, kind of gets out of her hand wrong and goes way high and into the backstop for a 1-0 count. But neither LeSueur Henderson or Fairmont have a Twitter page, so we can't really follow that game, which is who the winner of this one plays. This is a pop-up in the infield. Third had it, Nielsen, but then Sydney Schultz, the shortstop, called her off and makes the grab for a pop-out to short for 2 up, 2 down. Quick inning here so far. Let's hope it continues for NRHEG and then get the bats back going. Brooke Robinson, the 8-hitter, up. The senior second base girl, she singled in the second inning and then grounded out to third, or rather short, in the 4th. She starts out with a ball, 1-0. 6 hits for Cannon Falls, including a home run, 2-run shot by pitcher pitcher Abby Brewer that scored Kaylee Fournette in front of her. And they had a run before that on an RBI single from Fournette. And that's how they got their 3 in the 5th. NRHEG answered with 1 in the bottom of that 5th. That's 3-1 here in the top of the 6th. Then swing and a miss there makes it 1-2 to Brooke Robinson, as Sophie Stork has the advantage on a 1-2 pitch. It's lined to short, and a nice play out there. Catching it was Sydney Schultz, and a 1-2-3 inning for the Panther defense on a liner to short. And now they get the bats going again after scoring a run in the 5th. But we're through 5.5, and it's 3-1 Cannon Falls on the Budget Tax Solutions scoreboard. They proudly support NRHEG Sports, wishing them well in the section tournament. You can call Budget Tax Solutions at 507-460-3829. They specialize in payroll with direct deposit, business, and individual tax, as well as nonprofit accounting. Again, 507-460-3829.
WK is Wabasha Kellogg.
Oh, Wabasha Kellogg is WK. That makes sense. So that's who USC is playing in baseball and leading at this point. Seems like the area teams are doing well today, except for Elverly girls are out now after their second loss of the section, 7-2 to Faribault. And who else? Austin, I think, was the boys were trailing there in their game in the losers bracket of Section 1 3A. Well, here comes NRHEG to face Abby Brewer, and it's going to be Sophie Stork, who was up to bat after last inning, and they had a throw out on the base paths, so she'll start off with a fresh account now at 1-0 to her. Sophie Stork facing Abby Brewer. Sophie with a walk and a strikeout today from the plate. And she swings and misses there, makes it 1-1. Chloe Arndt on deck with Grace Tufty to follow. Here in the 6th, down to 6 outs left, trailing by 2 for the Panthers as they got to get going here. As that one is a ball, 2-1. Scored last inning on a hit by pitch, sacrifice bunt. And that one's out of play, first base side, so strike 2, 2-2 for Sophie. And then a base hit that scored the run from Sydney Schultz. For the only run on the Panthers side of the ledger. 3-1 Cannon Falls. Bottom of 6. Nobody out. Leadoff batter Stork. Well, I'm not sure what happened there. She struck out, I guess. The umpire barked something I didn't catch, but 1 out. 3 strikeouts for Abby Brewer. And Chloe Arndt is up now with nobody on, 1 out in the 6th. For the Panthers, she grounded out the 3rd and walked. 18-3 in a NRHEG against 11-4 Cannon Falls here. So both squads have had pretty good years. It's 1-1 now to Arndt. She got all the way around to 3rd in the 4th inning, but couldn't score after a walk that inning. There's the pitch. That is fouled out of play over my head, and 1-2 to Arndt, the senior catcher. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th for NRHEG. They need base runners. They're trailing by 2. That one's inside and low, ball 2, 2-2. Winner here takes on the winner of LeSueur Henderson Fairmont Saturday at 2 at Caswell and North Mankato in the winner's bracket championship, but they'll still have to play the loser's bracket champion after that. Swing and a miss. And back-to-back strikeouts here in the 6th for Brewer, her 4th of the game. And that brings up Grace Tufty down to their last 4 outs now. Lefty, Tufty with pop out to the catcher and a sacrifice bunt in the 4th inning. And she ticks one off the umpire, and he takes one off the shoulder, it looked like. Gonna walk that one off. So strike 1 to Grace. And he'll be all right. He's got a smirk on his face. He's a tough old dog. That ain't his first rodeo, that's for sure. Tufty will be followed by Anna Jacobson if she can get on here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Top of the 8th in a battle against Byron. It's Cass and Manorville, 7-4. And they're in the 8th, so they put a 3 spot up. And Byron will have to fight back on that one. It's softball because Albert Lee plays Byron Saturday in baseball. And that'll be in Red Wing. We're going to do that game for you. The 11 o'clock start time. And a strikeout there. So struck out the side did Brewer. Boy, that's tough. 6th inning, she mows him down. 5 strikeouts in the game, 3 of them here this inning. 1, 2, 3 inning for her, and after 6, it's 3-1. Cannon Falls on the Willows Restaurant scoreboard. Brought to you by the Willows Restaurant and Lounge right off Highway 13 in New Richland. You can have a great meal there, inside or outside in this nice weather. And don't forget Wednesday night, Burger Night. Give the Willows a try. Like them on Facebook, too, so you can get all the updates of what they're up to there. Thanks to the Willows and thanks to Budget Tax Solutions and L&D Ag, Wagner Foods in New Richland. And also Brant Hemingway Photography. And all those guys bringing you the game here. Byron softball, 8-4 win in 8 innings. Outstanding team win. They beat Cass and Manorville. Oh, Cass and Manorville beat Byron.
Yes.
Okay, in softball. All right, 8-4 was the final there in 8 innings. All right. Here it is 3-1 Cannon Falls. And they're coming to bat in the 7th and final inning. Unless NRHEG can come back and tie things up here and send it to extras, or maybe win it on a walk-off in the 7th. But first, they got to get through this 9-1 two-hitters. Kyra Schoenfelder struck out and grounded out to short on a fielder's choice. And ball 1 to start her out here in the 7th from Sophie Stork, who has 5 strikeouts, no walks. But she has given up 6 hits, including that home run. That's a liner to short. Caught there nicely by Sydney Schultz. 1 up, 1 down. Izzy Pagel, the leadoff batter for the Bombers, up second here in the 7th. She doubled and singled and a grounder to second. So 2 for 3 for her with a run scored. And strike 1 from Sophie Stork to start her at bat. Sophie shaking off one sign, taking the next, and a swing and a miss. Actually, she got a piece of that one, and it went back into the catcher's mask. 0-2. Sophie's up on Izzy. The little Dust Devils swimming up all over in the infield. Two of them join up, and the third one wants to play too. Over by first base. Got to have your eye black on today. Catch all that dust. Sophie to Izzy on 0-2. Well, she just got a piece of that one, sending it into the fence behind home for a strike. Staying alive. Not just the Bee Gees, it's Izzy Pagel. Sophomore third base girl. Doing well today. Here's the 0-2 again. That one's bounced right back to Sophie. She misses it off her glove. She just kind of pushed it over to the shortstop. But Sydney Schultz throws it a little wildly to Grace Tufte in her haste to get it over there because Izzy was blazing down the first baseline. She never would have got her out anyway, so it's not an error. That's going to be an infield hit for Pagel, her third hit of the game. That was off of Sophie's glove. Right to Sydney Schultz, but she didn't have any time to actually make it out there. This one's bunted down the first base side, and it's played nicely by Grace Tufte, but the throw gets by Hallie Schultz covering first, and over to third goes Izzy Pagel from first on that play, and safely at first is Bella Davison with her second hit of the day. Now Kaylee Fournette, as they have runners at the corners and one out here in the seventh, already leading 3-1. Season's not over with a loss here for either team. They got to go down to the losers bracket. An unchallenged steal of second for Davison. Now runners at second and third and one down. Fournette up here with the count. And they didn't put that last pitch up on the scoreboard, so I'm not sure. I think it was a 1-0, yeah, that's what I thought. I was going to say, I thought it was a ball. And that one is a strike called. So 1-1. 1-1 with runners at second and third and one out here in the seventh. Cannon Falls leading 3-1 and looking to add more to that. Stork looking in, gets the sign, throws it, and it is outside the ball. 2-1. They've reached the seventh inning, not going the way the Panthers had hoped, but they're not very far out of it, so if they can shut them down here and get the bats going, they still have a shot at things. 3-1 Cannon Falls. It's a 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. It's a liner to short, caught there, and then Sydney Schultz goes to second. Hallie Schultz trying get the runner off there, but back safely was Davison. But now there's two down on two liners to shortstop Sydney Schultz. She is good and dusty. And that'll bring up Abby Brewer, who homered her last time up a two-run shot. She has also struck out and flew out to center. And they're going to walk her. So they get her on first, and that'll load the bases. So any base for out number 3. And Maddie Burr is up, a strikeout victim of the first, reached on an error and a ground out to third. 0 for 3 for Maddie. And the pitch is low, ball one. Can't get one past the catcher here. You got to keep them all in front of her. So ever important for Chloe Arndt to gather these pitches so as not to give Cannon Falls a bigger lead. This one's popped to center, but camping under it and making the grab is Brenly Knudsen for the third out. And no run score, so it's still 3-1 through 6.5 on that fly to center. And NRHEG coming up, their last 3 outs. They got to get at least 2 here to extend the game. 3 and they win, but it's a Budget Tax Solutions scoreboard. Budget Tax Solutions in Ellendale, and they will handle your payroll, direct deposit, business and individual tax, as well as nonprofit accounting. Budget Tax Solutions, 507-460-3829. Go Panthers, says Budget Tax Solutions. Hayfield wins over Waterville Legion Morristown in baseball, 10-0 in 5, so they 10-runned them. And they'll do that. They're number 1 in the state for a reason. Waterville Legion Morristown did not have the baseball power that they have had recently, and they have good softball teams usually too, and basketball. But they were a 500 team basically, right around there anyway. So that's not surprising. And Lyle Pacelli and Hayfield were odds-on favorites to meet in a titanic matchup. We hope to have that for you on Monday if it all lines up right. From Riverland and Austin. We're going to do Albert Lee Saturday. If they win their first game, they are done until Wednesday in the championship round, playing the losers bracket winner, having to win only one of 2. If they lose Saturday at 11, they play at 4 Saturday, so we'll have that game for you too. There's a first pitch to leadoff batter in the 7th inning for NRHEG is Anna Jacobson. And it is a 1-0 count, now 1-1. Jacobson started the game not batting and then has replaced Kylie Doyle in the batting order in the 6th spot. It's 1-1 to her in the 7th and needs 2 to tie, 3 to win here in the 7th. 3-1 Cannon Falls. It's 2-1 now to Jacobson. Now, last time up, her first time, was a ground out to the pitcher. There's the pitch. It's high, and she holds off on it. 3-1. Faith Nielsen and Branley Knutson up next, or due up next, I should say, because they have a full bench here in section play that they can pinch hit with if need be. We'll see how Coach Schultz plays it. And that one was a called strike. So 3-2 now to Anna Jacobson, the senior left fielder. She gets in her stance, and the 3-2 is on the way, and she fouls it first base side. Do it again. Abby Brewer in her 7th inning of work from the circle. 5 strikeouts, 4 walks, giving up just the 1 run. That was in the 5th. Faith Nielsen scored it. Sydney Schultz knocked it in. But NRHEG needs a couple more of those right here, or they're going into the losers bracket. That's fouled into the screen behind home plate. And it's just still 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Bottom of the 7th. Last chance for NRHEG. That's up the middle towards second, and the throw's not in time. And Anna Jacobson is on with an infield single to start the 7th. Faith Nielsen will come up now. She reached and stole second in her first at bat, then walked. She was actually hit by a pitch and made it all the way around to score in the 5th. And the first pitch to her is way over the catcher's head. Bounces nicely back to her, but down to second scampers Jacobson, so a runner in scoring position. The tying run is at the plate for the Panthers in the form of Faith Nielsen, the freshman third base girl. She's had a lot of ground balls hit her way, too, on defense. They're going to talk it over there in the circle for the infield of Cannon Falls with the coach, head coach Tom Langfelt, as his troops gathered around him. Thanks to LND Ag in Heartland, the Willis Restaurant and Lounge in New Richland, Budget Tax Solutions of Ellendale, Wagner Foods of New Richland, and Brandt Hemingway Photography in Ellendale for making this possible. Lyle Pacelli in baseball defeated Rushford Peterson 15-0 in 5 innings, so they are on that collision course with Hayfield in Section 1A baseball. Both teams winning there today, so I think they both have to win one more before they face each other on Monday. 3-1, they'll probably play Saturday. 3-1 with a 1-1 count now, and a swing and a miss by Nielsen makes it 1-2. Runner is at second in the form of Anna Jacobson. Or is it Anna? It's A-N-N-A. Could be Anna. Faith nubs one out to the pitcher, and Brewer goes to first with it and gets the out, so it's a sacrifice. And one down with a runner at third. Still a tying run at the plate in Brenley Knudsen now. Home run ties it, Brenley, I'm just saying. Second, she grounded to second and then had a sac bunt on the day. And she is swinging away there, swinging a miss for strike one from Abby Brewer to Brenley Knudsen, center fielder, the junior for Panthers. She'll be followed by Bree Erke. At the bottom of the order, trying to rally the troops and win one, or at least tie it here and take it to extra innings. They got one run just standing out there at third, waiting to make it a 3-2 game. If Knudsen can get a hold of one here. You don't want to be trading outs for runs at this point because you need save all the outs you can. It's a 2-1 count to Brenley, rather. Bree is on deck. Brenley and Bree. 2-1. And that is a called strike two. 2-2 now to Knudsen. They all go to Caswell from now on in this section. Win or lose. The losers today still alive in the losers bracket. And that is high and outside of ball. 3-2. Tension mounting. Runner at third, one out for the Panthers, trailing by 2 in the bottom of the 7th, which is their last at bat here, unless they can tie it. There's a check swing and a ball 4, and takes her base. Runners at the corners, and the go-ahead run is at the plate now with Bree Erke coming up. Bree has grounded to third and struck out on the day, and they're gonna, I don't know if their first base girl came walking into home for some reason. I don't know what she's doing. We're ready to go here with one out. Runners at the corners. Tying run at first. The winning run is at the plate. Bree Erke, sophomore right fielder. That one is a ball. They were looking for the steal of second by Knudsen. She didn't go. First and third. Time called. Catcher and pitcher talking in the circle. Wendy Schultz talking to her batter, her third base runner there, and the on deck batter, who is Sydney Schultz, top of the order. If Bree gets on here, and so there's one out, so unless she hits into a double play, Sydney will get the bat. With the game on the line here, there's a grounder to third, goes right through the third base girl's Izzy Pagel's glove, scoring a run from third. And now it's 3-2 as Doyle scores for NRHEG. And that was a hard shot. That's not an error. That she could have gotten it to it, but it was really ripped. I want to give Bree a hit and an RBI. And on to second goes Knudsen. So first and second with one out. And now the winning run is on first. This one's popped up, though, in the infield and not caught. And they got to go to third because it's a force play. She slides in there, but it was kind of a force because she had to go, and the ball got there before her. So now the umpires are going to discuss it, even though he called safe as she slid in. Well, now they're going to bring the ball over there and touch the bag and her again. And it's up to the umps to decide. With one out now, it looked like the throw beat her to third, and it was a force play. They didn't have to tag her. But the pop-up could have been an infield fly rule, too, where the batter's out. And the runners don't advance. But now they're going to say, is that what they're going to do? Well, the runners do advance. They're calling Schultz out. 2 down on a infield fly. And runners go to second and third with Knudsen at third and Erke on second. 2 down. And it's up to Hallie Schultz, the freshman, second baseman. Base rip, and it's tied. It's 3-2 right now. Cannon Falls, bottom of the 7th with 2 down. Runners at second and third. A base hit at least ties it. Well, she's going to go to first. Oh, they're going to walk her because then they can go to any base. So that brings up Sophie Stork. So an automatic walk for Hallie Schultz. She's at first. Second is Bree Erke. Brenly Knutson at third. Brenly has the tying run. Erke with the winning run at second. And Sophie Stork, who has not had a hit today. She's 0 for 2 with a walk. Struck out twice. Base hit here, and she's the hero. And the first pitch is a strike called. Strike 1. 3-2, Cannon Falls. Bottom of 7, 2 down. Bases loaded for NRHEG. Base hit could win it, at least tie it. She fouls one right to my face here. Into the screen, it's 0-2. A bad place to be, 0-2, with the game on the line, but she is a really good player, no matter what sport she laces them up for, so she can do it. Sophie ready to go. Abby Brewer ready to go. There's a hit right through to the outfield. 1 run scores. The second one's going to win the game for NRHEG. 4-3. 2 RBI base hit. Walk off for Sophie Stork, and the Panthers win. 4-3 is your final on a base hit by Sophie Stork. Man, talk about the pressure on that one. And she comes through. She got a hard grounder towards short. It went right through a diving shortstop, Bella Davison. And the win as the Panthers gather at the pitcher's circle there to celebrate their win. And Cannon Falls obviously dejected at that one. They had the game, a 3-1 lead after a home run by their pitcher, Abby Brewer, back in the 5th. A 2-run shot. Looked like it was all over with as they were commanding lead. They were hardly giving up any hits. Brewer was cruising in the circle, but boy, did they rally in the 7th. As NRHEG has a walk-off, come from behind, win here, and go on in the winners bracket to the championship match at Caswell at 4 o'clock Saturday. And they will play the winner of the LeSueur-Henderson-Fairmont tilt that is going on right now and could be over by now too. And Cannon Falls will go into the losers bracket. They could still work their way back through and get into state, but it's a little longer row to hoe. But Sophie Stork is the hero today with a 2 RBI single, a walk-off single here in the 7th to win it 4-3 for the Panthers. And the scoreboard 4-3 is brought to you by the Willows Restaurant and Lounge right off Highway 13 in New Richland. They have seating inside and out. And on a night like tonight, go have an outdoor meal and celebrate the Panthers win. And they've got burger night on Wednesday nights too. Give them a like on Facebook as well to keep up to date on everything. Thanks to the Willows. Thanks to L&D Ag. Thanks to Budget Tax Solution in Ellendale. Thanks to Wagner Foods in New Richland. You go to their website, newrichlandfoods.com, and get all the information, the latest deals they've got going on too. And you can give them a like on Facebook as well. They're at 120 Broadway Avenue South in New Richland. And thanks to Brant Hemingway Photography in Ellendale. If you need a senior picture portfolio or whatever, or a package taken, he's got them for as little as $300, and you get to keep the USB drive and the copyright to the pictures. You don't always get that, but you will with Brant. Heck, he's been doing it for over 30 years. He knows what to do, and he'll get you a very nice package there. Senior pictures, weddings, team sports photos, and everything else. Brant Hemingway Photography in Ellendale. Call him at 507-402-2212. A thrilling walk-off win for NRHEG, trailing 3-1 going into the 7th. They get the 3 runs they need to win it, and 4-3 is our final. I am Jay Paul. I'll catch you in the morning show again. Thanks to Reg for running everything and making it work right. We'll see you next time. I'm Jay Paul on Power 96 Sports.